How many times have you heard someone say, "Oh, I just like things neat and tidy. I'm so OCD"? We're back for part two of our seven-part series to bust some of the myths surrounding OCD. Here are four myths that we know exist. OCD is just about being neat and tidy. OCD is driven by intrusive, obsessive thoughts and repetitive behaviors, which often act to try and counteract the obsessive thoughts. These are called the compulsions. Compulsions can either be overt or covert, so they can either involve going in and out of a door, checking something, behaviors that people can actually see, whereas the covert ones can go on internally and can be mental ruminations. They can involve multiple things, but the important thing is that the compulsions are there to counteract the obsessions. Myth 2, you can always tell if someone has OCD. That is not the case because so many of the compulsions can actually involve these things called covert compulsions, which can involve mental checking, mental ruminations, imagining certain sequences on your head and repeat. Myth 3, everyone gets intrusive thoughts, so everyone has OCD. This really could not be further from the truth. Everyone has intrusive thoughts, yes, but people with OCD have intrusive thoughts that stick, and they think they can then mitigate those intrusive thoughts by performing a compulsion. So it slowly gets to the point where you have so many of these intrusive thoughts that you then have to do compulsions to counteract, that life becomes unbearable and just slowly more and more unmanageable. Myth 4, OCD can't be treated. In reality, OCD can be treated with the right form of treatment. I have found myself ERP, which is exposure response prevention treatment, to be the most powerful. Now, this is a subset of CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, and it involves exposing the person with OCD to their fear. So, for example, if you had a fear of spiders, it would involve exposing you to the spiders. And you do this on a gradual, graded process. You don't immediately go and sit in a box full of spiders. You might look at images of a spider to start with. You might then think of drawing a spider, whatever your therapist chooses to do alongside you. But the exposure and the response prevention is crucial because it has to be accompanied by the block of the compulsion. When we use phrases like, "I'm so OCD because I like things to be symmetrical," or "I'm so OCD because I have to organize knives and forks in the drawer in a particular order," or "I'm so OCD because I like everything color coded on my bookshelf," I think what it does is it really detracts and slightly trivializes a condition that actually can cause someone's life to really go into a complete state of free fall. This misunderstanding of OCD can create real barriers. It delays diagnoses, it detracts resources away from the people who really, really need them. And I think it trivializes a condition which actually is incredibly serious and can really have a knock on effect. So let's just stop saying "I'm so OCD." The more we understand this condition, the more we'll realize that actually most people who say "I'm so OCD" don't have OCD. And the more that we can dispel the judgment and the shame, the more that we can help those who really suffer from OCD get the treatment that they really need and they really deserve. So if you would be really kind, I'd love you to like, save, and follow for part 3.